Hola, soy yo, Vicky, otra vez. Y en el video de hoy, in today's video, we're going to look at a tense which is called the past perfect in English, or sometimes it's known as the pluperfect, and in Spanish it's el pluscamperfecto. Okay, now this tense, we can think of it as the past of the past. So this is normally to talk about something that happened before something else happened. So, for example, you might say, I arrived at the cinema and the film had already started. So it's when something had happened before something else happened. And if you have the updated level 2 book, Break the Language Barrier level 2, the updated version, on page 69 you will find this tense. It's added, I've added it as I've updated all the books this year. So it's a new section in the book. Now there's quite a lot of new things in all the books, so you know, you may want to, if you already have the old versions, you may want to update. There's quite a lot extra in all the levels. Okay, so this is page 69 of the updated level 2 book. And this is how we talk about anything that had happened in Spanish. Okay, so first of all, let's think about how we make it in English. We take the verb to have, we put it into the past tense, had. Very easy in English. It's I had, you had, he, she, it had, we had, yous had, they had. And then we use the past participle of what had happened or what we had done. So generally in Spanish, to make a past participle for the regular participles, we add ado for AR verbs and ido for ER and IR verbs. But there's quite a few irregular verbs. Now, the thing is, the past participle, when we did the tense that's the present perfect, things we have done, like he hablado con Juan, he escrito una carta, I've written a letter. So the past participles are the same for the past perfect as they were for the present perfect. I'll put a link down below in the description box so that if you want to, you can have a look at the video on the present perfect, which does sort of relate to this. Okay, so how do we do this in Spanish? So what we do is we don't take the verb tener, to have, in Spanish. We take the auxiliary verb to have, haber, H-A-B-E-R. That's the verb that we use to make the present perfect as well. And we take it in the imperfect tense. So, to make the bit that represents I had, you had, he, she, it had, etc., we use había, habías, había, habíamos, habíais, habían. So that's your I had, you had, etc. Then we use whichever past participle is appropriate for what we had done. So if we had done something, we use hecho. Hecho is the past participle for hacer, to do. So if I wanted to say, I had done my homework, so había yo, you might want to say yo because había can be first person singular or first person plural. So yo había hecho mis deberes. I had done my homework. Hablado, spoken. So if we wanted to say, we have spoken to Pedro. We had spoken to Pedro. Habíamos hablado con Pedro. Comido, eaten. So you might want to say, they had eaten their lunch. habían comido la comida, though in Spanish you would just say habían comido, because that is enough to say they had eaten their lunch, all in those couple of words, etc., etc. So that's how we make it. Again, I'm going to put all that in the description box. So don't worry if you don't have the book, you can still follow the tutorial as usual. If you want to order the book, you can order it on any Amazon site. Vicki Riley, Break the Language Barrier Level 2, the update. Make sure you order the updated version. You'll know which one it is because it's me with the silly hat on. But yeah, you don't need the book to follow this tutorial. I'm going to put the details of how to make the tense in the description box. And I'm going to read out the things that are in the book anyway. Okay, so the first practice that comes up in the book is to go over some of the irregular past participles. So as I explained, normally you add ado or ido to make a past participle to a regular verb, but we've got quite a few irregular ones and they're very common ones. So they're not obscure verbs that we don't use much. They're, you know, everyday verbs that we use in everyday conversation. So we've got escribir, which is to write, and it's not escribido, it's escrito, the participle. Hacer, as I mentioned before, to do or make, becomes hecho, done or made. Romper, to break, becomes roto, broken. Ver, to see or to watch, becomes visto, seen or watched. Volver, to return, becomes vuelto, returned. Decir, to say or to tell, becomes dicho, said or told. Abrir, to open, becomes abierto, opened. And morir, to die, becomes muerto, died. Poner, to put, becomes puesto, put. In English it doesn't change. Cubrir, to cover, becomes cubierto, covered. Freír, to fry, becomes frito, fried. So there's some common, it's not an exclusive list, but it's more or less most of the ones that you probably use. As you know, I try to give you need to know grammar. I don't like going into sort of obscure verbs that you'll never ever have to use. Okay, so there's a few sentences here to translate, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the sentences and the little translation at the bottom as well in English in the description box. So you can look at them and have a go at trying to translate them yourself also. I'm just going to read out the Spanish. And so what I would advise you to do is to look at the sentences, have a go at translating them, do the little translation and then check them on the video. And if you have any queries, as always, just let me know and I will reply to any message, email, etc. that you send. Okay, so Practicable or Practice B, number 1. Ya había limpiado el coche cuando empezó a llover. Now, this tense quite often goes with the preterite tense because it's normally something had happened when something else happened. So quite often it'll be the preterite tense that accompanies it for part of the sentence. Número 2. Cuando llegamos a casa, that's your preterite part, no había hecho nada. Yeah, and that's your past perfect part. Número 3. Cuando volvieron a casa, todas las flores habían muerto. Of course, another way around you can do it is just listening to me say it in Spanish and seeing if you can understand what I'm saying, then checking it in the description box. So there's a lot of different ways you can practice this tense with this tutorial. Número 4. Había puesto el dinero en el cajón Y entonces alguien llamó a la puerta. Número 5. La había llamado por lo menos 10 veces antes de salir. Número 6. No pude instalar el programa porque la tienda no me había dado bastante información. Número 7. Los ladrones habían roto todas las puertas y las ventanas. Número 8. Cuando fui a trabajar a las 7, todavía no habían encontrado las llaves para entrar. Número 9. Habíamos abierto todas las ventanas porque hizo calor. Número 10. No quise o no quería, either of those is okay, ir al cine porque ya yo había visto esa película. Número 11. Cuando le vi, no había dicho nada a Carmen. Número 12. Habían escrito 20 correos electrónicos antes de recibir una respuesta. Número 13. Yo había pagado el florero, entonces lo tiré y lo rompí. Número 14. Habíamos vivido en muchos otros países antes de venir a España. 15. Hasta el día antes todavía no habían recibido la invitación. 16. Nunca lo había visto, and we might want to put ella in there to make it clear it's a she. Ella nunca lo había visto antes del día de su boda. Número 17. No estuve ansiosa o nerviosa porque había practicado el discurso durante 2 horas la noche antes o la noche anterior también. 18. ¿Habías limpiado la casa antes de la fiesta? 19. ¿No habíais apagado las luces antes de salir de la oficina anoche? Y número 20, la última. No habían hecho nada toda la semana. Okay, so those are the sentences. Esas son las frases que voy a poner en inglés en descripción y bueno, tú puedes escucharlos, listen to them, see if you understand what they mean first, or look in description first, have a go at translating them yourself and then listen. Either way is good practice. Okay, and then there's a little translation using this tense, practice C, which again I'm going to put in English in the description box. And I'm just going to read out now in Spanish. So again, whichever way round you want to do it, practice listening to it first, see if you can understand what it says, then look in the box to see if you're right. Or translate the translation first, then listen to it and see if you're right that way. Whichever works for you. Okay, so nunca habíamos estado en Francia antes. aunque habíamos viajado mucho en el resto de Europa. Mi marido siempre había querido ir a París y él había ganado bastante dinero en la lotería. Entonces decidimos ir y quedarnos en un hotel de 4 estrellas en el centro de la ciudad. Antes de salir, habíamos comprado nuevas maletas, mucha ropa o muchas ropas y 2 pares de gafas de sol caras. Actually, that should be caros, because it's 2 pairs. Pares is masculine. So, sí, caros. Habíamos comprado también un iPad para que podamos tomar o sacar muchas fotos. Y habíamos preguntado o pedido, better, because with ask, pedir is to ask someone to do something or request. Preguntar is to ask a question. So there's a distinction between pedir, to request, and preguntar, to literally, it has to be a question. Okay, so habíamos pedido a nuestros vecinos cuidar nuestros 2 gatos. El día que salimos para el aeropuerto, el sol brillaba y estábamos contentos que habíamos preparado todo y pudimos descansar y disfrutar de nuestras vacaciones. And just going back there to, vale, el sol brillaba, the sun was shining, so that has to be brillaba. Where it says we were happy, that could be estuvimos también. Estuvimos contentos o estábamos contentos. It's got to be estar, but it could be pre-treat or imperfect. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about pre-treat, imperfect and present perfect and the other tenses, besides the one that I'm actually explaining here, then on my channel, if you key in type in past tenses or pre-treat or present perfect, imperfect, we should come up with the relevant video that describes that tense. Of course, in the books, if you look in the index, all the past tenses are in level 2. This is the past tense book. If you're struggling with past tenses, this is the book for you, because there's a lot of explanations and comparisons, and there's backups of them all on the YouTube videos. So if past tenses is what you want to know about in Spanish, then it's definitely level 2 is for you. Okay, ya está. So, terminado. Gracias por mirar, and please don't forget to give me the thumbs up if you found the video useful. Really helps me out. Please subscribe if you've not subscribed already. Press the subscription button. It's completely free. I'm really trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I think I'm on 886. And it's funny because it sort of seems to go like I get lots of subscribers in a short space of time, then it goes quiet, and then there can be days and I don't get any. It jumps like that. But it'd be really nice to get 1,000 by the end of the year, but it might be a bit optimistic. That's it's not long to go now. But anyway, if you don't mind and you're enjoying the videos or you're finding them useful, please subscribe. It's completely free. It's no compromise whatsoever. Just helps me out really with the YouTube algorithms. So, thank you again. So, te veo en el próximo video. So I put a video out every Tuesday and Thursday. Next week is Navidad. There'll be some special Christmas videos coming out next week. to tell you all about how the Spanish celebrate Christmas and some vocabulary for Christmas. So, gracias. Te veo en el próximo video. Adiós.